Video 0109, In-Depth Interface, the Modify tab. The Modify tab in Autodesk Revit starts out with some similar panels as some of the other tabs. It has the Select panel, it has the Family Editor, and, like the Create tab, it also has the Properties panel, and its behaviour is identical. Next, we have the clipboard. If I select an object in Revit, I can either copy to the clipboard or cut to the clipboard, and then use the Paste from Clipboard command. This, like the project environment, gives me a variety of options. I can either paste from the clipboard, paste aligned to selected views, or some of the other options which may or may not be available in the family environment. I can also use the Match Type properties, which has some limited use in the family environment. Next we have the Geometry panel. Here we can cut or uncut geometry, we can join or unjoin geometry, we can split faces, or paint materials to the face of an element. From the Modify panel, we then have tools like Align, Move, Copy, Offset, Mirror. We also have Mirror for drawing access, Rotate, Trim and Extend, Split Element, Split with Gap, Unpin, Pin, Delete, Trim and Extend for multiple elements or single elements, Array, and Scale. All of these tools will be used in the exercises that we'll be following. Next we have the Measure panel. I can create dimensions or use the Measure command. Notice, however, that the Measure command is only available in plan views or in elevations. And finally, we have the Create tab. Here I can create groups. And again, we'll be looking at these tools in more detail as the exercises progress. One final thing on the Modify tab is that when I select an element, notice how the Modify tab is context specific. I've selected a reference plane. Revit tells me that I'm going to modify a reference plane, and it gives me additional options on what to do with a reference plane. Let's try that with another element. I'll select an extrusion. Now we can edit the extrusion, change its visibility settings, edit the work plane, or pick a new host. So when you're working, always keep a heads up and see what Revit is telling you about the objects that you have selected. Notice what's going on in the options bar and in the properties palette, which we're going to examine in more detail. With multiple elements selected, we can then see that we have a filter list, and I can choose just the reference planes.